A city separated by wealth, culture, and a bay between two eggs. The East Egg, home to the old money and the infamous Buchanan couple. The West Egg, sneered at by the East Eggers for their new money, and home to Jay Gatsby and Mr. Nick Carraway. While Mr. Carraway and Mr. Gatsby were neighbors and close friends, they lived in two separate worlds in the thick heat of New York City summer. Their worlds came crashing together. Two men and a woman, all dead within days of each other with no known motives, and all from different social classes. Could they be connected? Find out today on Bootleg.
Today, we are investigating the murder of Mr. Jay Gatsby. Come with us as we uncover the lies, scandals, and perfidy behind his death. We begin this segment with the closest connection to Gatsby we were able to get a hold of, his neighbor and close friend, Mr. Nick Carraway. We brought him in for a few questions to get us started on our investigation.
So, Mr. Carraway, how long did you know Gatsby?
Not that long. We were neighbors but didn't know each other personally for a very long time.
How did your opinion of Gatsby change before and after you met him?
Before we met, I only knew him as a mysterious man who threw really huge parties. He was a stranger to me, and everyone else for that matter. But at those parties, everyone felt like they knew him.
Did you attend many of those parties?
Only a few. The first one I was invited to and I attended with Jordan Baker. That was the first time I actually met Gatsby. He was the only one not drinking, and that's how I noticed him. He was extremely friendly and had a smile that even now I can't forget.
So with a friendly smile and demeanor and lavish parties, Jay Gatsby was well liked?
That's the front that was put up. In reality, which was shown at the funeral, people didn't care about him as a person. They only wanted him for his parties and his lavish lifestyle.
Thanks. Would you say he had any enemies? Mr. Carraway?
Tom Buchanan. He's married to my cousin Daisy. Things were rocky between them. Daisy and Gatsby had a unique relationship before she married Tom.
How did you find out about the relationship?
Jordan Baker, Daisy's best friend and the woman I attended Gatsby's party with, knew in detail about the relationship and relayed the story to me.
So what was your relationship with Jordan Baker?
I loved her deeply, but I was too wrapped up with other things, and I lost her.
Like what?
Well, I was busy with Tom, Gatsby, and Daisy's relationships, and I didn't realize what I had with her.
So, Gatsby was known by many, yet actually known by very few. Nick seemed rather close with him and was able to get information on him from his close friend, Jordan Baker. So who was this mysterious Jordan Baker? And how did she know so much about Gatsby? What else did she know about? We needed answers.
With us today we have Jordan Baker, friends with Jay Gatsby and Nick Carraway. She's going to provide us with some details on Gatsby's past. So Jordan, what can you tell us about Gatsby's past?
Well, he's very friendly, for sure, but he had a very bad upbringing because he was so poor. Despite being poor, though, he became extremely rich in the past 5 years.
Did Gatsby have any friends or special people in his life?
Yes, he was very close with Nick Carraway, but he has a special fondness for a young lady named Daisy Buchanan.
What was his relationship with Daisy?
Oh, he was in love with her. He had met Daisy before he served in the war, but during the war, Daisy married Tom Buchanan and had a child with him.
Why didn't she wait for Gatsby?
Well, because he was poor. She didn't want to be poor. The events drove Gatsby absolutely mad. So mad that for the past 5 years, that's all he's been infatuated with. He threw countless parties trying to get her to come, but every single one, everybody in Long Island except for Daisy Buchanan showed up.
Did Daisy know that Gatsby was in love with her?
She found out once Gatsby told her, but she ended up liking him back and ended up marrying Tom.
How did Tom feel about this whole ordeal?
Oh, Tom, he was very unhappy with the situation.
Do you think Tom had anything to do with Gatsby's death?
Oh, yes. He told George Wilson, the murderer of Gatsby, that Gatsby was responsible for killing his wife. He was livid that Daisy was in love with Gatsby and saw an opportunity for revenge, and he took it.
Very intriguing theory. Thank you, Jordan, for providing us with all these details.
Of course.
So, Daisy and Gatsby were connected in the past, but she's now married to the wealthy Tom Buchanan, who may be connected to the murder of Gatsby. We next brought in Daisy and her husband in the hopes of clearing up this foggy situation.
Thank you for welcoming me into your home.
Of course, anything to catch the killer of our dear friend. Right, sweetie?
Yes, of course.
So, we learned about your especially close relationship with Mr. Gatsby. We were wondering if you could elaborate on the relationship that you two had.
The hell is wrong with you? Coming into my home to pry my private life? Talking about my wife's affair? Let's get out of here.
My affair? What about Myrtle?
We let Tom leave and step outside for a while so we could have some alone time with Daisy. We needed her to tell us everything she knew.
So, Daisy, how would you classify your relationship with Gatsby?
We'd always been good friends ever since we were in school.
So, why was Tom so upset when we asked about your relationship with him?
No reason.
Are you sure?
Okay, we were in love. It was different than a normal affair. We were falling in love with each other.
You were in love with him?
Yes, I just didn't mean for any of this to happen.
You didn't mean for what?
I just didn't mean for the accident to happen. I didn't mean it.
What accident?
I didn't want anyone to get hurt. There was an
Everything's gonna be
accident.
okay.
She's dead and I didn't mean for it to happen.
Okay, no more questions, no more questions. We received footage of the accident after some investigation. It happened at a corner store. We're meeting with the store owner to find out what they saw. So tell us what you saw happen.
I was cleaning my store windows and I heard a woman yelling hysterically, and I turned around and saw what happened, and she lives running into the street.
So Daisy was driving. Gatsby was in the car with her, and they hit Myrtle Wilson, whose husband was found dead in Gatsby's yard.
And with that, the case is solved. The wealthy Tom Buchanan was having an affair with Myrtle Wilson, who Daisy hit with Gatsby's car out of anger and jealousy. When Mr. Wilson went to Tom looking for the killer of his wife, Tom placed the blame on Gatsby because of his anger towards him and his affair with his wife, Daisy. Wilson then shot Gatsby in his pool to avenge his wife, killing himself after.
So, now that we know how Mr. J. Gatsby was murdered, how does that affect you guys in your lives?
I mean, I think we can all take a lesson here that selfishness and being completely infatuated with a lifestyle you may never be able to have ruins a good thing.
Well, personally, I lost a good friend. I didn't know him for that long, but he was very close to me. I think it's tragic that he lost himself trying to find himself in somebody else.
I agree.
So, what does this leave for the two of you?
Well, like Gatsby lost himself, so did Mr. Carraway, unfortunately. He also lost me. And with that, I'm done.
Today we discovered 3 murders, 2 affairs, and 1 common desire from everyone involved. The desire for wealth and a better life. Mr. J. Gatsby had what the common man would describe as everything anyone could need and want in life. A mansion, luxury cars, and parties with more people than Long Island could occupy. But even with all these material things, he didn't have the one thing he wanted in life, Daisy Buchanan. For him, Daisy was not just an infatuation that led to his demise. She was a representation of the American dream that he, and so many others, spend their whole lives trying to achieve, but never succeed at. Unfortunately, the same affair for a lavish life is what led Myrtle Wilson to her affair with Tom Buchanan, and eventually her and her husband's death. What we can take from this horrific case of love and death is to look away from the green tint of money and towards the green light of friendship, honesty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Hello, everybody.
It's awesome being rich. You good?
Please.
Oh, did he hire a hitman?
Yeah, just ask him, like, Tom.
What is that? I'm gonna cry.
It's nasty, I know.
Hey, get that ready.
Oh, okay. But I was too busy with other things, and I lost her.
Like what?
I don't know, you didn't tell me.
My buns of steel.
Guys, I got to buy a car earlier today. It was crazy.
Nick here, he bought me a dog.
Oh my god.
More of a dog than he is himself.
Oh my god.